What's up, guys? I'm Lex.
And I'm Maddie.
And in this segment, we'll be breaking down your favorite artist's new project. You're tuned into our first episode of our new segment.
Today we have TOMOWEN in the building. We're going to be going over their new album, Marvelous. Check it out.
Yo, what's good? I'm Tomo.
Yo, what's good? I'm Owen.
Yeah, what we doing?
We're going over Marvelous.
Marvelous, nigga.
Okay.
I'm Tomo. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I'm from Boston. For me, I'll be cooking up. I just like making art and shit, you know what I'm saying? Who are you?
I'm Owen, producer, engineer from Boston. You feel me? We just came together.
Facts.
Working on the album.
Together with TOMOWEN. I mean, real villain shit.
I mean, Marvelous, I feel like he had the name since the jump. And I think when we first linked to work on the album, he just like, yo, he was telling me how he was feeling that day, like dark and gritty, like that type of sound, you feel me? And we kind of went towards that direction. But I feel like I kind of stepped away from that direction a little bit. That's why we had shit like fuck it. I think once we had the solid ground of like a lot of work, we kind of like curated the next sounds off like what we talked about, but I feel like it was kind of like subconscious and bullshit, cause like I didn't actually like sit down and be like, yo, I gotta do this. It was just like going off what's said before.
Marvelous is really like the villain and the hero. That's why you say that the message is positive, cause all my music is positive. I mean, I make music to like push people to be a greater version of themselves. I make like motivational money making music. That's how I describe it in my sense. But it's like an anti-hero thing. It's like you're not necessarily a villain or a hero. Kind of like Batman, Deadpool, like people like that. You feel me? One day you could save somebody, the next day you could go rob a bank. That's why I feel like it feels like that. Where you can grow up in Boston and shit, and like Dorchester and areas like that. Everything's a choice. On one hand, I'm seeing people get caught up in the streets, cousins and shit, family, friends. Other hand, I'm seeing people do different things with their life, go to school, and that doesn't mean that either the person in whatever shoes they are, they're necessarily doing what they have to do in order to survive and like continue to go another day. And so basically the album was just kind of a reflection of everything that's been going on around me in my life and like around my life. I feel like a lot of times with my music, I'm either talking about where I want to be or my past, like where I've been. I feel like this was like a good like snapshot of the reflection of like what's going on currently in my life within like at least like the last like year or so, you feel me? And it was really accurate to that portrayal. So like what I was talking about in that song is just really priorities, no bullshit, cause I'll be around a lot of people. It's like you're portraying something on the internet, but it's like in reality, it's not that way, but that's okay. It's not something you should be ashamed of, you feel me? You shouldn't feel like you have to hide what you're going through. And because we're in a certain industry where it's like, you make music about flexing and all that shit, you feel me? But life is not always like that. You gotta be able to embrace the dualities of life. You're gonna go through ups and you're gonna go through downs. So people acting like they're always up, the shit just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like social media has played into that a lot. And it's not even just with music, it's really with the entertainment industry as a whole. And I get it, I understand, because maybe it's like you have to maintain a certain type of image, but I don't know, it just feels like inhuman. It feels inhumane, I guess, in a sense, yeah. Nowadays, social media is seen as very like, as like a business tool. When that shit first came out, it used to be like kicks of the day, outfit of the day and shit. You feel me? It was fun, like it was social media, it's to socialize and shit. But now I feel like people are taking it way too serious, and it's like, I get it, because you can make money off it, but I don't know, it takes the fun out of everything for around, I think it was 2016, 2015, somebody sold me K2, synthetic marijuana. I had like blacked out. And since then, I was fine. I waited, like, took a break for a little while, then I went back to smoking. I was fine. Around like 2018, I was in college, and one day I was just smoking. That shit used to make me like extra paranoid. It was just fucking with my mental health and my mental stability and shit, you feel me? It was just made me like lash out on the people around me and shit. I didn't fuck with that. I had to stop, I had to lean off of just like removing that shit from my life, because I've been smoking for years. Kinda just like how I explained it in the song. Kinda makes you like see things, not like hallucinate in the general sense, but it's like create things in your mind that aren't there. Like it could be somebody that you grew up with your whole life, and one day you just think like, yo, like this person doesn't actually fuck with me, you feel me? Like they're just around me for this, or this, or they're out for my downfall, they're plotting on me, and it's really just my brain just creating negative thoughts in my head. The doctor told me it was like weed-induced psychosis and shit, so it was like creating like false ideas about people that are around me, you know?
When you said George Bush in the building, what exactly do you mean? You think George Bush did it? What's up with that?
Hey bro, ask George Bush, ask George W. Bush what he did, bro.
When he said that shit, I'm like, bro, should you be saying that? The whole dude shut that. I'm like,
yo. The thing is, the way I delivered the line at first, I was like,
it was worse.
I was like, George Bush in the building, we blowing up or some shit. And then Mello was like, yo, you can't say that, because he thought I was saying like, if George Bush is in the building, we're gonna blow the building up. I was like, so then I had to rephrase it. I was like, George Bush in the building, how we blowing up? But it's just like, hey, I feel like it's a common trope. People say George Bush did 9/11. I don't know what that nigga did, bro. I don't know him. He's not even a nigga, you feel me? But hey, bro, George Bush in the building, how he blowing up? Simple enough to like understand.
It's the bar that like people hear the most.
Yeah,
emotion.
bro. It's shock factor, it's shock value. It's gonna make people talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's interesting you say that. I fuck with Lucky heavy, no bullshit. I was one of my favorite rappers at one point. I feel like that it sounds like that because like I'm a reflection of the art that I intake. You feel me? I feel like I do have my own sound and style because you could see just like from the range of different songs on the project. Because I feel like as humans and as artists, we're like sponges kind of. But it's a difference between going in the booth and trying to make something that sounds like an artist and just hearing the inspiration from an artist. You feel me? You'll tell like if an artist has his own sound, but you can tell where his influences are from, opposed to like if he just went in the studio and was like copy and paste. You feel me? So I felt like with this project, I really wanted to encapsulate how I was feeling right now in my life.
I think that's why we kind of wanted to drop it soon too.
Yeah, facts.
Just so like capture that moment, like, you know what I mean?
I think that's real important, like putting out the art while you're still very connected to it. I don't like keeping stuff in the vault. I like to put stuff out fresh, where it's like you could look at the art that I'm putting out or making, and you could like kind of understand what's going on in my life, or kind of understand like how I'm feeling at the moment. Cause like I use music sometimes as just like a way to express myself. If I may not have anybody to talk to, it's kind of just like me to sit down and process what's going on in my life. I don't like journaling and shit, so it's just like kind of just like consciously speak to the mic, and it just so happens I like doing it like with a beat or something. You feel me? Cause I feel like as just like people, especially as artists, but like as people in general, you should never stop learning, you feel me, until the day that you die. I feel like a lot of people like might peak around like high school or college area cause you just feel like, alright, I learned all this, now I'm gonna just go work, or I'm gonna do what I have to do. But it's like, nah, you should continue learning like every day. I mean, you can never know enough, and you can learn from anybody. You gotta remain a student to the game, like whether they're older than you, younger than you, or experience-wise. Like I learned from my little cousins, I learned from my elders, I learned from literally everyone in any aspect of life, whether it's like has to do with art or just learning how to be a decent human and learning how to like maneuver through life and through the world. You feel me? Go over, don't. Shout out Maddie, shout out Alexi. Go stream Marvelous out everywhere on all platforms. You looking for me, you can find me KBK617 on everything. Prodbytomo on streaming platforms. Wow, where they can find you, bro?
They can find me at Owen Wave, on Twitter, IG, whatever. You feel me? Owen on Apple Music and all that, but if you find him, you'll find me. Marvelous out now.
Swag. Pow.